Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ. And make sure you hit that like button. And this episode is all about position battles, as we're going to go through the whole preseason here, go through 3 games of gameplay, the first 3, including the dress rehearsal, the 3rd game of the preseason. But first, let's look at the sliders entering this year. Remember, last year, I admitted, like, it wasn't easy. I don't want to say it was easy, but at times it just seemed like it was. And so one thing I wanted to do was give myself a little more room to, fail, to be honest with you, because I just thought it was way too easy. Even on All Madden, I had sliders that favor the CPU, but now I had to favor the CPU even more. So here's what I did. I decreased player skill. You see the accuracy for quarterback down to 25. And then everything else, 35 here, pass blocking, run blocking, wide receiver catching even. And then looking at the defense, this stuff's down to 25 pass defense, reaction time, and interceptions. Tackling down to 38 and pass coverage down to just 10. And then on the CPU side, I decided to make it QB accuracy 58, pass blocking 40. I put it at 40 here. I did decrease it because I don't want statue quarterbacks. And what's a statue quarterback? The CPU quarterbacks that stand in the pocket, have all day to throw the ball, and then just can get rid of it whenever they want. I don't want that to happen again. And then wide receiver catching at 57. I actually looked at some sliders on Operation Sports. 57 seemed like I guess it was more of a realistic number, but still tough. But looking at the rest of the stuff, you see 85 pass defense reaction time, 45 interceptions. I think that's a good rating where it's not like overpowering, but they still, catch a good amount and they still do drop some. And then 85 pass coverage and 60 tackling. So let's hop into this preseason action, man. Remember, we have a 4-way quarterback battle. Trace McSorley probably has the longest shot of being the starter, but Jared Stidham, Tyree Jackson, and RG3, let's go. So obviously the story of this preseason is going to be the quarterback battle. It's a 4-way battle with Trace McSorley having the smallest chance, but here we go. We are starting out on the road at Pittsburgh for our first preseason game here, and these do matter because I am testing these sliders out and I am making tweaks, and I want to see how they'll play out because I want that challenge, and honestly, like the first season, it just was too easy at times. So here we go. We are starting out this season, and we're going to play this first possession here on defense. You're not going to see much defense, but here's Le'Veon Bell getting the carry, 25 yards. You already see the sliders at work there. Nice run blocking on that one. So here's Le'Veon Bell once again, picking up another couple yards, tackled by Ryan Kerrigan. So now on a 2nd and 6, here is Le'Veon Bell getting the carry up the middle for a gain of a couple. So now on a 3rd and 5, here is Big Ben throwing out to the right side, but taking a big hit from Ryan Kerrigan is the receiver. And look at Quentin Dunbar. He's going to pick this one up and take it all the way for a touchdown already. What a way to start out the next season with a big hit on that receiver. I don't even know who that is. That must be a rookie, but man, welcome to the NFL. And Ryan Kerrigan does just that. So here is RG3, the first quarterback. He does get the start in this game because he is the veteran, and everybody's going to at least get one start in the preseason to evaluate these quarterbacks evenly. So now here is RG3 facing a 3rd and 7 here. Clean pocket from the shotgun, going to throw over the middle, finding Mike Perkins, who's getting his first taste of playing time as a starter, because remember, Joshua Dobbs, we let him walk in free agency, and I do have a couple more tweaks to make with this roster. Ty Johnson's number 25. I'm not going to give him number 25 because Chris Thompson is way too close to Chris Thompson, and I will get confused having him on the field as number 25. So a lot of these numbers in preseason are going to be changed. So right now, this is what it's going to look like. But here's Wayne Gallman having a new number as well. He's actually number 22 in real life with the Giants, but I did have him as 33, and I realized that 33 is actually a retired number. Shout out to one of you guys who did point that out. 33 is a retired number with the Redskins. As you see, Robert Griffin III gets hit on that one. So facing a 4th and inches, here's Darius. Guy's getting some preseason work, and he's getting in for the touchdown. And it's already a 14-point lead in this game as Geis he's healthy and he looks good. He looks good running the ball. He's got speed. And the thing is, Geis is actually shifty. And that's a thing with Wayne Gallman. He is more of a power back. He can be shifty, but he's just not as shifty and as powerful as Derrius Guice is. Derrius Guice has the total package. So like I said, I'm not going to give up on Guice, but speaking of, our quarterback battle, here's Jarrett Stidham on the field. He gets in the field here and in the second quarter. Here he is throwing across the middle to Equanimeous St. Brown. And you know him. He does play for the Packers in real life. We did pick him up on our practice squad last year, and he is probably going to make the roster. We'll see what he does in preseason, as here is Stidham back on the next drive, getting it thrown deep that time to John Brown, and that's an incomplete pass. So after a holding called, 2nd and 20, here is Stidham throwing across the middle, and that's just an inaccurate throw, but that still should be caught by John Brown. That's a drop on that one. So facing a 3rd and 20 here from the shotgun, throwing the ball deep this time to Brown this time, and that's the other Brown. That's Marquise Brown, and you are going to know him quite a bit in this series because, man, he's going to be good. With that speed, he is going to be a really good player as we do continue this game here in the second quarter. So, like I said, we're going to show a lot of offensive possessions, mainly to show the quarterback battle here in this preseason because, like I said, it's a 4-way battle, and you don't want to miss any of this. So here we go. Back out on the next drive here. Stidham getting it to Derrius Guice that time, and on a 2nd and inches, getting it out to Hollywood Brown. And you guys know him. He does go to Oklahoma right now, and we did draft him in the 4th round, I believe it was. It was the 3rd round. 3rd round. We drafted him in the 3rd round, and he's going to be good. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what kind of routes he can run. I don't know how I'm going to use that speed yet because having him and Paul Richardson, I do have a lot of receivers that are kind of similar in stature, so I do still want an outside guy. Mike Perkins, Jamison Crowder, Paul Richardson, and now Marquise Brown and John Brown. They're all like the same height pretty much, so it's gonna be weird trying to figure out a scheme for all of these guys that all have similar skill sets, but we're gonna get it done. So here's Jarrett Stidham getting it off to Derrius Guice here on a 4th and inches, and he's picking up a 1st down. He's got 55 yards in this game. And I don't have many running backs to play, so here you can see running out to the right side is Stidham, and that's just an inaccurate throw. You're going to see a lot of inaccurate throws from these rookies, and obviously it's because they're rookies and because their ratings just aren't there yet, but also it does, coincide with the sliders that we are going with. So here on a 1st and 10, throwing out to the left side, and look at Equanimeous St. Brown going up and catching that one. And that guy, he was on our practice squad last year, but if he keeps making plays like this, he has a chance to make the squad for real this year as he goes up, keeps both feet in bounds, and that's a catch for a touchdown. So we are actually beating the Steelers up here in this game, as here I'm going to let Stidham play most of this game as he does throw. That's actually a nice pass that time to sprinkle on that one, and that one's going to be incomplete. So now on a 3rd and 4, throwing it out to Brown, and that's actually John Brown. I'm going to have to say everybody's full name. Too many Browns on this team, as that is complete for a 1st down. So here's Derrius Guice getting a carry, and like I said, he's shifty, and that's one thing I'm going to have to use with him is his shiftiness and his ability to catch the ball in the backfield. He can do all of that. So now here is on a 1st and 10. Here's Hollywood Brown getting open, and he's picking up the 1st down. I imagine he's not going to be number 88 when the season starts, but right now in preseason, that's what he's going with. But on a 1st and 10, throwing the ball deep to Equanimeous St. Brown. Wow. So have we found a surprise wide receiver in Equanimeous St. Brown? 2 toss-ups, 2 50-50 balls, and he goes up and gets it, and he comes away with 2 touchdowns in this one. Actually, 3 touchdowns, as, man, he was impressive in this one. He is 6'5". You can see the stats in this game. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown goes for 63 yards. He had a pretty good debut, but Equanimeous St. Brown, 3 touchdowns off 3 receptions, and I can use that 6'5" frame a lot this season in packages. We'll see. So now here is the second game. Here RG3 is starting out this game once again. I want to get him at least some drives. I want to see if I want to keep. I'm still not sold on RG3. I like the idea of having RG3, but here's the thing. He's got to win the job in order pretty much stay on the roster, because if I got 4 quarterbacks going forward, that's probably not a good plan, because I'm going to need those spots for other guys, you know, in case of injury or just depth at position. So here we are, RG3, a couple of nice passes to start out this game versus Detroit. So here on a 1st and 10, rolling out to the left side, RG3, you know he can run a little bit, and he's sliding for a 7-yard gain on that one. So facing a 3rd and 3 inside of field goal range, throwing out to the left side, and Jordan Reed's going to get that one for a 1st down close to the 10-yard line. So here's RG3 from the shotgun, 2nd and 9, sending a blitz from the left side are the Lions. And that's going to be a nice throw to Mike Perkins. So now on a 4th and 2, we get it down inside the 2-yard line, and Darius Geis, like I said, he's shifty. He's really, really shifty, and he gets in for the touchdown, and that's partially the reason why I didn't trade him and I kept him on the team. So here comes Tyree Jackson, the rookie who I was excited about all year scouting him, and we did pick him up. So here, his first pass of this game, starting out the 3rd quarter, is a nice one across the middle, that time to Hollywood Brown. So now on a 2nd and 10 here, play action fake here from the 42, and that's an incomplete pass. And that's going to happen when we have these rookie guys. Are going to miss a lot of throws like that. That was an easy completion, but he does throw it away from the receiver, so that forces a 3rd down throw, and that's what happens. We don't get it, and it's a punt, but we do come back out later in the 3rd quarter. Here he is on the next drive, getting it out to Geis, and Geis is getting quite a bit of playing time. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but I don't have many options at running back. I probably should pick up some guys here in preseason just to play, as here is Tyree Jackson from under center. I want to see what he can do under center, throwing out to the right side. That one's going to be dropped by Sprinkle, and now it's a 3rd and 19 for the rookie. Here he is from the shotgun, throwing the ball into double coverage, and that was going to Hollywood Brown, but that's incomplete. It's tipped. Maybe it was a flag, but that's going to be another punt. So he does get another possession here in the 3rd quarter. Here is Tyree Jackson throwing the ball deep, and he has enough on it after even getting hit, and that's Hollywood Brown for another catch, and he's been impressive in this preseason so far. So here's John Brown across the middle, getting that reception for a nice 8 yards. So we do get a 1st down on a 2nd down play next, and we do throw it across to John Brown, another 8-yard gain. So now on a 3rd and 5, throwing the ball across the middle to Darius Geis, and he might have to fill in this role, and we don't know what he's going to be, but we do need a 3rd down running back, kind of like Chris Thompson was last year, but we obviously did not pay Chris Thompson. But I do have an update on a 3rd down running back later in this video. But you can see Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown did go down on that play, but on the next play, throwing the ball deep to Simi Cobbs. Actually, that's not, I mean, that's a good receiver right there. I mean, if you think about it, Simi Cobbs is on the practice squad, I believe, for the Redskins right now, and he did go to Indiana. I'm very familiar with him in the Indiana dynasty that we ran on this channel. But throwing the ball deep that time to St. Brown once again, and he's just coming up with some big plays here in the preseason. So the evaluation is going pretty smoothly for these quarterbacks. They're both looking good as rookies. You'd expect them to make rookie mistakes, but they're both looking good. So now on a 3rd and 6, throwing it up to John Brown, and that's just an impressive throw, because you're not throwing it up to a 6'5" guy. You're throwing it up to a smaller guy, and you can still put it in a spot where only he can get it, and the defender cannot get to it. So we do finish off this drive by getting it to Equanimeous St. Brown on that. So it's interesting. This quarterback battle is interesting. They both have, you know, equal traits. I think Tyree Jackson, with his arm strength, does give him a little bit of a competitive edge, but he's a lot less accurate. Not a lot, but a little less accurate. And the difference is that he's got quick development. He can develop a little faster than Jarrett Stidham. So this is going to be a close battle, and I think that it's going to be between these two guys, the rookies, and I think Trace McSorley is definitely a guy we can develop a little bit, but, you know, he's got a long shot to make it because he is smaller. You'll get to see a little bit of his action coming up in the next game. So now we go into the dress rehearsal, going up against Tennessee, and we are at home, so this is a game where I did insert Jarrett Stidham into start. So here we are out on the first drive of the offense and getting him a couple of snaps here in the first quarter, but here he's taking a sack here, and he's going to go down. Jones is going to beat Trent Brown on that one. So now facing a 1st and 10 on the next drive, and here we are. We're finding Mike Perkins open on the comeback route. That's a nice throw across the field. That's actually a long throw and an accurate throw from Stidham. So now on a 2nd and 12, throw of the ball, and that's what I'm talking about. That accuracy, getting it out before Adoree Jackson can make a play on that one, and that's going to be a useful arm there, as Mike Perkins is going to need to get open a lot on the outside. He's not a tall guy, but he's going to need to run precise routes. So here's Stidham getting it over the middle to Jordan Reed this time, and that's a nice throw. So now inside the 10-yard line, here is Stidham running up the middle and diving into the end zone for the touchdown, and he's impressive. He's really impressive. Him and Tyree Jackson is going to be a close race, as here he comes out onto the field, Tyree Jackson, as he's 6'5", he's big, he can run, but this is his best weapon. He can throw the ball. Look at that throw to Paul Richardson. I mean, that is just the difference between him and Stidham, is that he can throw the deep ball really, really well, as here he is in the pocket trying to get away from the pressure, but Derek Morgan is going to sack him on that one. So that moves him back to a 2nd and 19, but he has a big arm, and here a little too much arm, as that's way overthrown to Jordan Reed. So now facing a 3rd and 19 here, running Paul Richardson on the streak that time, but we get it away across the middle, and that's caught by Jordan Reed. So that is just a nice throw on that one, away where the defender could not deflect it, and it moves the chain. So now here's Tyree Jackson using his legs and picking up 8 yards on that one. So here on a 2nd and 2, here is Ty Johnson, and I like Ty Johnson. I did want to get him some work. He's probably not going to be number 28 come the regular season, but we'll see what he is. But here Jordan Reed's getting open across the middle. That's a nice lob over the top of the linebacker, getting inside the 1-yard line. But after getting sacked on a 1st and goal, here on a 2nd and goal, getting it out to Mike Perkins on the run, and Mike Perkins drags his feet, and the undrafted rookie from Youngstown State does get in for the touchdown. So now we get the ball back under 2 minutes here on the next drive, and Paul Richardson gets open past the secondary. And like I said, that is the main difference between Tyree Jackson and Stidham, is that Tyree Jackson just has the arm to make those throws, and I think Paul Richardson is going to benefit the most out of any receiver from having him as quarterback. But we'll see. It's between him and Jarrett Stidham, but right now Tyree Jackson is looking the best because he can make those throws. So here on a 2nd and 24, another big throw, this time to Jamison Crowder, and I'm just telling you, these throws are impressive, as this quarterback battle, it's down to 2. I gotta admit, it's down to 2. I don't think RG3 showed us enough in preseason. I just don't think he was impressive. So here Tyree Jackson does run it in. Both of them can run the ball pretty well, and I do end up giving at least Trace McSorley a little bit of time to prove himself. But here you can see just the inaccuracy is just not there on that throw, and the arm strength just isn't there. You have to have more of timing routes with him. You can't just like throw to an open guy and or a guy in traffic, because the defensive guys will jump his passes. As you can see, he's really short in the pocket, and his throws aren't really being thrown at a high velocity. They're kind of coming out of his hands really slow, as there Mike Perkins does get open for the catch and moves the chains inside the 35-yard line. But I do like him as a developmental quarterback, and maybe I can use him in trade. Maybe I can develop him, and since he is quick development, other CPU teams will value that a little more. And you can see here, open pass here to Paul Richardson getting open. They're still in the game here in the 3rd quarter. That's a late hit, a flag, so we do get inside the 10-yard line on that. And here is a nice throw over the middle on the slant route, and I like what I've seen from Trace McSorley to John Brown, and I think he's got the longest shot of winning this job, but I did like what I saw from him. So you see the quarterback comparison here. Tyree Jackson, he pretty much had a great game, 11 for 16, a touchdown, no picks. Jarrett Stidham actually did his thing as well, but I gotta admit, having that deep threat was something we had last year with Alex Smith. He was accurate, but just getting that ball down the field on every throw, he can throw off his back foot, and Tyree Jackson is just impressive. And I think he's edged out the job just by a hair, but we'll see. So we do have a couple of pickups here. Chris Thompson was in free agency. He was not signed in free agency last off season, so we do end up getting him. So looking at the stats here to end the preseason, Tyree Jackson, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's pretty impressive. As you see, his completion percentage was at 63%. It was the best among all of our quarterbacks. And his deep ball was just on the money. Jarrett Stidham was actually pretty good too. So I don't know. I mean, either way, I don't lose here, because even in the case of, hopefully it doesn't happen, but an injury, we'll have a good backup either way. But I like Tyree Jackson. They're both mobile. I think they're only 1 speed point difference, so it really won't make that big a difference when we're scrambling or anything like that. But Darius Guice has a good preseason. He stays healthy. Ty Johnson, he wasn't overly impressive, but I wanted to get him some playing time just to see what type of guy he was. He's not very shifty. His attributes don't, scream shiftiness. They don't scream third down running back. So that's why I did go out and pick up Chris Thompson. I definitely needed that. But Equanimeous St. Brown was definitely the most impressive guy that we had on the offensive side of the ball besides the quarterbacks, and he went up and pretty much snagged anything that was thrown his way, as he actually had 5 touchdowns in the preseason. And one other guy I wanted to point out is Dwayne Cummings, and he had 101 yards off of 8 receptions, and that's pretty good coming from a backup tight end position. I think that he took that number 2 job away from Sprinkle, and that's definitely a good sign, because I do need another tight end to pair along with Jordan Reed. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, do you guys think that Tyree Jackson won the job? Because I just think he barely, had a better preseason than Stidham. I don't think it's a lose-lose situation. I think either way we're set up to win, and I'm kind of excited to have a rookie quarterback at the helm. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. Let me know down below what you guys think. So stay tuned. We're going up against the Eagles in the opener, so stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.